Well, good day. This is going to be the first video in a series of 5 videos about how to put on a paragraph border and how to put on a caption underneath a picture in Google Docs. So I have my raw document here. Look, I called it raw. And I want it to look more like this one over here. I want to put this big thick line underneath it. It's not really an underline. It doesn't really underline the words, but it sort of sticks out all the way to the margins. And I also want to put a picture with a little caption underneath it. Now you cannot put a caption underneath a picture directly in Google Docs, but there is sort of a little workaround. But first I want to do a paragraph border and put this big thick line there. So I'll show you how to do that. You click on the paragraph that you want to do. This first line is a paragraph by itself. And what you want to do is not underline, no. You want to go up to do Format and Paragraph Styles and Borders and Shading. I want to put a border around this paragraph. And I want to put a border just on the bottom. I don't need the sides or the top. Now I'm going to do Apply, and it's not going to look very good. So I have a border, and I do. I mean, it's got a line across it, but it's not a very thick line like the one I wanted it to be. I want it to be nice and thick. So the way you do that is you do Format and Paragraph Styles and Borders and Shading, but this time we've got to look to see how to make this line thicker, and that's called border width. So I'm going to change the border width to something a little thicker, maybe 3, and I will Apply. And now I'm saying, yeah, that looks pretty good. That's kind of how I wanted it to be. Now I want to put in the picture, and I want to put in the picture right here. And you would think that you could just do Insert an Image and just insert the image, but you wouldn't be able to put that caption underneath the picture. So this is not the way to go. Instead, we're going to insert a drawing. And I'm going to insert a new drawing. And they give you this drawing canvas. Now I want to put a picture in, so I'm going to insert an image. I put the image out in the temporary folder, so I'll choose an image to upload. I put it in my temp folder, and I called it Jim Rohn. So let me find that really fast. Here it is, Jim Rohn. And way over here I'll open if you can barely see it. Now this picture is very, very large, much larger than I need it to be. So I'm going to grab it in the corner, not on the sides. I'm going to grab it in this little corner handle and make it much smaller. I'll move it up here and I'll make it much smaller, about the size I want it to be. I think this is going to be a pretty good size for me. Now I can put in a text box on this drawing canvas. This is something you can't do directly in Google Docs. So I'm going to choose this text box. I'll give it a click. And I'll click down here and I'm going to type Jim Rohn. That's the name of this guy. And I'm going to make it italics. I think that'll look a little nicer. Italics. And I'm going to make this box very small. I don't want this extra white space at the bottom. I want this text box to be just small as possible. About like that. I don't want it to be hanging down like this. I want it to be right up close to these letters. There, about like that. I think this is going to be pretty good. Let's go up to Save and Close. So it inserted my picture along with the caption, but it left a big giant white gap here where the text is. And I don't want this big giant long gap. So all you have to do is click on your picture, and we're going to wrap the text around this picture. And that's this middle one that says Wrap Text. I'll just give it a click. Now the text goes around it. And I'm going to put it over here, but not too far. You see how the margin changes from white area to the light blue area? I don't want this thing to go out into the margin. So I'm going to very carefully move it over, and he's going to try to show me, look, the big red line says you're right on the margin. That's exactly where I want to be. I don't want this picture to be hanging out over the edge. So I want this margin to stay nice and clean. Well, that's the end of the first video. Now you're ready to go on to the next one.